Hi there, this is Art and Such with my Rainbow Loom tutorial for Bert from Mary Poppins to go with my Mary Poppins figurine. We're going to make one change from what you see here, and that is to bring the hair down a little more on the sides. For this pattern you need red bands, brown bands, black bands, and skin tone bands, although there is some flexibility for colors in this pattern. And I'm going to be using a couple of small blue beads for the eyes, but you're welcome to use bands if that's your preference. You'll also want one or two C-clips. This is a kind of moderate, intermediate level pattern, and we'll be doing a couple of things with the hook kind of post-production. But let's start with the easy stuff. We're going to do our arms, and I'll make both with you. Our first one, we need a single skin tone wrapped 3 times around the hook. And we're going to pull that onto 7 pairs of double 2 black bands. So that's one set, slide it over, put your other end back. 2 sets. And 3. 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we can do our second arm, same thing. Single wrapped 3 times, 2, 3. We have 4 loops. And we're going to take another 7 sets of double black bands. We'll make a chain. Just while I remember, I do want to mention credit is due for the hat design to Marlooms and her police officer tutorial, that pattern. That's where the hat is from. I've adapted it a little, but that's the basic idea for this front part. Okay, we have our arms. We're going to come to our loom in the offset configuration as we normally have it. And we're starting with 2 skin tone bands from the top center to the second down in the center row. Come down with brown bands, or your color of choice for the shirt. Second center to the second right, and again second center to the second on the left. We will come down 4 times with double brown bands in the middle, so take 2 bands. Bring it from your second to your third to your fourth, and 2 more times we're going to go. We're switching to black now for the outer side of the shirt. And we'll come down 5 times with double black bands on either side. So this will end at just a couple of pegs below your brown. And likewise on the right. 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. Let's add our arms. You can take the bands that are on your hook and place all 4 onto your left shoulder peg, which is your second peg down. And take your other arm, place it on the right side. Make sure you get them all. Let's add our side extensions, and that's kind of our coat tail here. So for that we need a single band wrapped twice. And we're going to pull that onto 3 sets of double black bands. That's 1, 2, 3. You're going to take the bands that are now on your hook and place them on the 6th peg down on your loom. So that's the second to last peg that we used. And you're going to reach inside and take 1 link out of or one piece out of the next link, like so. And we'll do the same for the other side. Single wrapped twice, pulled onto 3 sets of double black bands. 1, 2, and 3. And this goes on the right side, 6th peg down. You grab a piece out of the chain just below it, or the link just below it, and pull it onto that last peg that we've used. We're going to put 2 more sets of double black bands down the middle. And then we're going to come up to the side, double black. Double black. We'll add a little cap band here, and then we'll do our legs. I'm going to wrap it to 3 times. You can do it tighter if you want. Now we're going to take our black bands, and still using double bands, go to the very bottom of your loom. Once more on the right side, so let's fill her in. And we're going to make some very basic boots. If there's another style of boots that you prefer, definitely go for it. Like I said, for these we're going to keep it pretty simple. We're doing 2 bands wrapped together twice over the hook. You can do it a little tighter if you like. And we're pulling that onto 2 sets of double black bands. And this goes just on the bottom peg on your loom. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. 2 bands wrapped together twice. I think that was twice. And we're going to pull it onto 2 bands and onto 2 bands again. And this goes on the other side of our loom. Let's throw on some capping bands and then we can start to loop our body. So we're just going to use single, not doubled, just single bands and come across in the triangle formation. So I'm just starting here in the middle of the loom. This was the last peg we used. And I'm making a triangle from the peg above to either of the pegs down to the side. We're going to use black for all of these, and we're repeating it above and again, and we'll need a total of 5. If you want his body to be tighter or slimmer, you can always double it over, but this seems to me to work okay. Let's loop up the sides. First we'll deal with our centerpiece here. Go under your cap band and we're going to find the top 2 bands and pull them back to the side that they came from. It's one of those from the left and 2 to the left. Go back inside, get your next 2, and we're going to put them on the right where they came from. My bands are kind of clumping up here. I have to separate them a little bit. And the last ones can come upwards. And at this point you can pretty well pick any row. I'm going to do the sides first so that we end our brown coming up in the middle here. Come on down to the bottom. We're going to dig inside the foot piece and get these 2 bands which are coming from above. We have the open part of our hook is going to reach in and pull it up and over the next peg. And we continue this way up the leg. Feel free to pause if you need an extra minute. It's, I'd rather you took your time and got everything just right than that you feel frustrated. We're digging past all of these bands and grabbing the bottom 2 only. bottom 2 only. Make sure that you're pushing back the triangle bands as you come across them. If you loop that up, you won't have anything holding your body together. We need to go inside and get these two. I'm going to lift my arm up. You might want to pull your brown bands out and up and over. And we're going to loop up the right side. We'll go a little faster this time, but it's essentially the same procedure here. It's a straight loop, only getting your bottom 2 bands at every single peg that you come to. And I'd like to turn this to the side so I can see where the bands are. Oh, I missed one there. Incidentally, just on a kind of side note here, I have had a number of requests for a variety of characters. Some of them I'm working on, some of them I'm still waiting on bands for, so please don't think I've forgotten. I do have a list and I'm going through it when I have the time and the proper materials at my disposal. Alright. Get your last brown, and we're gonna get inside and get the skin tone bands and bring them up. Keep these 2 bands, or these 4 bands rather, on 4 sides, 2 bands, 2 sides, I'm confused. These skin tone bands are gonna stay on your hook or on the loom, and you can take everything else off, and then we will take this all off together. Okay. Now we can take this, remove this, give it an adjustment where it needs, and just put this on the side for the moment. There's our body. We'll add the scarf at the end. For our head, we're going to start with some black bands, and we're going to come down from the top center to the top right with double black. Top center to the top left with double black. Come down once on each of the rows with double blacks. And here's where we're going to add a little more hair by coming down a second time on the right side from the second peg to the third peg, on the left side from the second peg to the third peg. We also need here 2 bands from the second center to the second right, and 2 from the second center to the second left. And that is good. Okay, switch to skin tone. We're coming down 3 times in the center. This whole pattern, as it happens, is with double bands. I keep repeating it, but I probably could have saved myself the breath and told you right from the beginning, these are all double bands. Come down the side 2 times. Skin tone again. Oh, 1 time. 1 time only because we've added our extra black. There, now that should work. And we're going to come inwards right 4th to the middle 5th with 2 skin tone. And on the left, from the left 4th to the middle 5th, 2 skin tone. To keep the face nice and tight and narrow, what I did was doubled over my skin tone bands, so twist it around, bring it onto itself so it's nice and tight. Go from your 4th peg to your 4th peg and over your center 4th, triangle formation. We are going to repeat this on the set above, from the 3rd to the 3rd, double it over, stretch it across. We don't really need a capping band here, we're going to leave that. For our eyes, if you're using bands or large beads, you can take your band, wrap it 3 times onto your hook, repeat and then pull both bands onto a single skin tone. If you're using beads with a large hole, then you can pretty well just put them on your hook and slide them onto your skin tone. If you're using, as I am, beads with a smaller hole, we can take a thin wire or piece of dental floss and run it through the beads, put it through the skin tone, twist your wire or dental floss back and return it through from the opposite direction through both pieces until you can slide them on. I think this technique was from It's Delicious Designs. I know I've mentioned it before and I use this a lot. Just like I said, I want to try and give credit where credit is due here. We're placing this from the third peg to the third peg. If you want it to sit a little higher, you can place it from the second to the second and slide it over the middle one. As it is, I'm going to slide it up over the middle one here, middle third. Hook in between the bands and pull it up. And I think we are ready to loop. Yes. Okay, so take your body, throw it onto that fifth peg down in the middle. All the bands that are on your hook need to be transferred, and we want to be careful that we catch all of them. Like so. Get inside under that piece, and we're going to take the top two and pull them over to the left from whence they came. Next two go to the right, last two loop up. You can loop up 2 more times in the center, making sure that your band is getting between the eyes. Stop when you're at the second peg, and we can loop up twice on either side. Once more, stopping at the second peg. Okay, go inside on the left now, grab your bottom 2, loop them up, push back everything, get your bottom 2, loop them up. We're going to get these diagonal bands and bring them back inwards. So that's from the left, that's from the right. This is part of the hat. And we'll loop up one more time on either side. Bring these to the center here. And take your last 2 bands up and over, and they're at the bottom under the rest on that second peg. Take a black band and we're going to pull it through to secure. So the open part of your hook is pointed away from you. You're going to grab your band, keeping a little tension, and slide it up. Put the other end on and pull one over the other to create a slip knot. You can carefully take this off the loom, and you can secure or hide and secure this band with a C-clip, or you can wait just a minute and I'll show you how we can incorporate it and tie it in with our hat. Oh, he's kind of cute. Okay, push your eyes out a little bit, and like I said, we can just leave our holding band for the moment here. We will prepare our hat extension. And for this, we're going to use 2 black bands and come down 4 times. 3 times if you want it to be a little tighter. Grab a single and cap that off. Once should do it. You can do it twice if you're more comfortable with that. Get under that cap and loop straight up. And this is going to be the little piece that goes in the front of the hat. Okay, take it off your loom. We're going to pull a single black through the bands at the end of the hook there. And get your hat ready. I'm just pressing this across the front. Now what I want to do is take my hook, and we have 4 black bands on the side here. We're going to go through that second set, grab our securing band, or a separate band if you want, and we're going to pull that through the head. Oops, almost lost it there. hang on, and through the hat pieces that are on our hook, and pull this back to the back. Now we want to secure the other side, so we're going to go through on the opposite side. We're reaching through those 2 sets of bands again, and now we're going to get our hook through the capping band at the end of our chain. Take another black, put it on, and pull it through. Can secure one end over the other into a slip knot. Now you can see this is kind of all over the place. We want it to be sitting right over the eyes. So I'm gonna just hold on to that band for the moment, and I'm gonna put my hook through from the back, through the hat, and I'm gonna grab a new band actually here. Take a new band, pull it through, and I've got 2 here, so I'm just gonna make sure I have the one that I want. And once more we'll come through, but a little further to the left. This is the back side that we're looking at. And we're going to take that piece that we just used, we're still holding it at the front, and pull it through to the back again. And now you have 2 on your hook. You can place one end over the other. And I'm going to grab this loose band, weave it in. You can adjust this as much as you want. You can keep tugging it down. When you're ready and you're happy with the way that it looks, we take our black band at the back, hide it under some of our other bands, and throw it on a C-clip. Which will secure a second time under a nearby band. Okay, so there's our hat, we have our eyes, our body, our face. Last thing is the scarf. And I didn't write down what I did, but I believe we used 12 single bands. So take one, double it over. You can wrap it an extra time if you want. And let's put on 11 single bands. You can adjust it according to the length that you'd like. This will yield about this length. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm going to stop here. You can add an extra one if you want to. We're going to place this around the neck. Wrap one side over the other, so they're twisted one over the other, and press it under, up, and through so that we have a knot. Now you want to kind of even these out a little bit. We're going to take a single and pull it through the end of the ones on the hook, and place one end over the other to create a slip knot. Press your hook through from the back of the body next to the brown, not all the way to the side. You're going to grab this thread and pull it through gently so that we don't shift around the other side too much. Come through from the back again. I still have my red on my hook, but you can put it on a C-clip or a holding band if that's more comfortable. We're coming through the other side of the scarf, through the holding bands, and we're going to take another single, slide it back through, create another slip knot, and pull that new band through to the back. I've got a black one here, I just want to get that out of the way. Sometimes you grab an extra band by accident on the way back through. Okay, pull one red through the other, and this can be secured on a C-clip as soon as you have it in the position that you like. This part always takes, always for me, takes a little bit of fiddling around, but you can usually, in a couple of tries, get it where you want it. Okay, press your eyes through, adjust your hat, straighten your legs, pop your feet to the sides, and there we have our Bert. Okay, thanks for watching.